Amazing audience. We are live with Trey Higdon. You know, Trey, one of the things I've done on my podcast is have these conversations. Today is the first day I'm actually showcasing what I do. It's usually in a closed box and, I get to rest. But I think your episode number, what for today? 26, which means I've been speaking for a couple hours, right? So please do forgive me if I have a brain space, right?
You're perfectly fine.
All right, wonderful. A great pleasure to meet you, my friend.
You as well.
Tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
So, as in, like, what do I do, or who am I
It's
here?
an interesting question, right? Yeah, it's no, seriously, it's a doozy. It's like, but talents, I think we're born with most times, and what has happened is something you were doing led you up to this point.
So I think the big thing for me was photography that led me to this position. When I first kind of got into the PR realm, I was trying to find my space and what I really wanted to do. And I was a freelance photographer for a couple local blogs for Indy 11, which is our local sports team, soccer more specifically.
T-shirt,
yeah, so right here. I started off, I just had an entry-level DSLR camera, and I was shooting from the sidelines.
What brand?
Canon. I had Canon T2i. After 2 seasons of shooting, and I got my degree at that point, I was kind of still trying to find my space and what I wanted to do. I had a good friend of mine who was working for Indy 11 at the time approach me and say, "Hey, will you be my intern this season?" It seemed like the perfect fit for me at the time.
Close deal.
Yeah, I started. I had just purchased a new camera, got a Canon 7D. Yeah, so got that and another a $1,300 lens to go with it. So, and just kind of helped me in that realm. But that kind of helped me develop my skills in terms of social media, content production, and that led up all of last season before I shifted to a new opportunity as a marketing manager for a family entertainment industry. And then past that point, February rolled around. My friend had left Indy 11 at the time, and I was interviewing on and off, and I got the full-time position offered to me in February. So since February 5th, I've been full-time with the team.
Wow. Fun stuff.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
Like just seeing that, how does that make you feel? Just
good. It was a lot of work on and off. Before I started this PR pathway, I was going to school to be a Japanese education teacher. So I was going to teach Japanese to high school students. And then from there, it's just going to be just a plain Japanese degree as a translator, freelance translator. So it's been a big transition over the last 5 years to hit that stride of what I really wanted to do and something that just clicked and connected with me that I could use my creativity to make a career out of.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun ride.
Yeah. Who did you learn that skill of? That skill of listening to your inner voice?
I worked, again, in family entertainment for about 11 years. I started off in high school as basically a ticket counter, handing out tokens for arcade games, and a lot of that customer interaction is kind of what led me to being more a story driven. So when I was working at this arcade, I transitioned from just being a standard employee to management, and then I started getting to the marketing side of things there, which kind of just you learn to take in stories as well as regurgitate stories and try to find the best experience to showcase for your business. And I think that just kind of helped me overall get to where I'm at today.
That's amazing. So do you remember like an arcade story that you would regurgitate rather often?
There's several throughout the years. I don't know if there's one specific one I could pinpoint. They just kind of all blur together.
I could see some arcade stories, just coming out, and how that. Do you see stories that occurred in the arcade that you use today from a principal standpoint?
I think it's just more of that kind of crisis communication. In the retail realm, nothing always goes according to plan, just as any other kind of position that you find yourself in. So trying to manage whatever situation given to you at that given point in time and being able to roll with the punches. And the same goes for any industry. Same thing with sports. Sports, it's a new story every day, and you don't know what's going to happen next. And that's just kind of the position that we've been in ever since. Especially now with Indy 11, we're playing in Lucas Oil Stadium, and It's very new for us, considering we've played the past 5 seasons at a local college field. So, we're having to adjust to a new stadium. We shifted leagues. We had a high turnover of players. We have a new coach. So, even though our team has been around for the past 4 or 5 years, it's a whole new feeling for us. It's almost like we're new again. And for us, it's kind of, saying we're still here. We've been around for a while and trying to present that image that we are a staple in the community, but at the same time, we have a lot more to offer than what people see.
That's great. Where can people see your work?
People can see my work at indie11.com. A lot of that content, again, comes directly from me. From a graphic standpoint, we have a fantastic graphic designer, but some of the stuff from there comes from me as well.
Right.
All the training photos come from there. We also have at indie11.com. It's Indie11 across the board on all social media.
Instagram.
Yep, everything. Then for personal work, it's on Twitter at Trey Higdon, and then Instagram is at Trey Higdon XI.
Good stuff. What's one other thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
Just nonstop work. When I was at the arcade, I was working 6 days a week, as well as going to school. I was doing an internship. Past that, again, I was interning, working a full-time job at another, just nonstop.
So how does that make you feel, working so hard?
Tired. Tired mainly. Accomplished, though.
Yeah. Do you see yourself working that hard in the future? Or is it, you do?
I do. It's a constant grind, and it's also a matter of staying up to date with everything. You can say you want to take time off or whatever, but the moment you start taking time off, you start to get a little bit behind here and there. Even if you're not working, main focus on whatever you're doing, if you're keeping that in the background of things and you're trying to keep an eye on things and see what you can do to improve, it can be anything. I'll read articles and see how someone caters their voice to the article and say, maybe I can implement that the way I want to, and just constantly going.
That's good. Why would you suggest someone that's listening do what you've done by applying work to your passion?
Just put your best foot forward, I guess. Find something that you're truly passionate about. For me, when I was doing photography, I'd also get some players from different teams whenever I wasn't full-time employed coming to me for freelance work, and the best way I could sell that was, I don't want payment. I did a lot of my work for free primarily, but the reason I did that is because I wanted the story out of it. I wanted that experience more than anything else. If I can get maybe a jersey or some kind of signed merch out of it, that way I can have something more physical to showcase later on, and I can always refer back to that point rather than having a pay stub for that. So I think if you're going to find something to do, make it worth your while. If you can get a story out of it, it's all the better.
Yeah, I love that. That's gold right there. It's worth more. Get it in the beginning and then use it after as the experience. Experience never dies. It never dies.
Never.
Let's switch gears for a moment.
Sure.
Let me invite you now into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Trey, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I think my earliest childhood memory, I was in our first home that I can remember, playing with a Thomas the Tank Engine toy on our hardwood floor. Thomas the Tank Engine was my number one back then.
Right. How old were you?
I was probably around three or four.
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
I think because Thomas remained a big portion of my life throughout my development age. Even then, or even now, just going back and looking, I have all my original Thomas toys that I still be able to look back on. When I was a freshman in college, I had just graduated high school, and my nephew wanted to go see Thomas in Connersville, Indiana, because they had a big ride-along one. I got invited to go with. So that's just kind of a childhood memory that I got to relive and rehash and experience full hand as an adult. And I'm kind of grown out of it. I don't collect toys or read the stories. Yeah.
That's your thing. That's your thing.
Yeah.
No fear.
No, I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, don't apologize for that. So, if you had to connect that memory to who you are today, is it possible?
I don't know if that's possible. I'm sure to some degree it is. You can look back at any kind of Thomas story to see, what kind of adversities. There's always a problem and solution to every one of those stories, and it's a matter of, for me, finding a problem, whatever problem I'm in, and finding a solution to it. And it's never a solo solution. It's finding your help, finding a team to work with, and then coming together as a whole.
That's powerful. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind? I just love the fact that you are the protector of the story. So over all of these years, you physically kept photographs of the physical thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the only difference now is you take a picture of it. But like with Thomas, you have the physical thing as a memory that's kept. Right? But it's just fascinating to see that you capture images to do the same exact thing that you did, and I'm fascinated by it.
I love that.
Amazing,
yeah.
Right? I was like, wow, isn't that amazing?
What about you? What's your earliest memory?
I remember sitting in my parents' bedroom looking out a window, and I was in an easterly direction, and it was under my father's bedroom, and that was my earliest childhood memory.
Okay.
And they're just having an awareness of my cousins outside playing, and that I am inside. But I had a book with me. I always had books with me, something to write on, and I was just, it felt as I was reflecting, but still aware of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is your interpretation of that thought picture?
Just have an awareness of your surroundings. I mean, seem like you're alert about everything. You're very critical about what's going on around you. You know that your cousins were outside. You know the room that you're in.
Yeah.
I guess just inspecting constantly.
It's always connected, right? Amazing, right?
Yeah.
12-minute convos with Trey Higdon. All right, so we've arrived at our destination. But first, what was your favorite song at 12?
Oh, man. So at 12 years old, it was probably something Japanese related. Again, being a former Japanese education student, I took Japanese all throughout high school. So rewinding to that point, I guess anime and manga had always been a big part of my life. So I couldn't tell you what song exactly it was, but it's probably something within that realm.
Do you know Dr. Ping?
I do not.
Okay, you should meet Dr. Ping. If he's here still. But yeah, mathematician.
Okay.
Yeah, left Japan, I believe it was, or China. Yeah, you should connect with Dr. Ping if he's still here. China. Yeah, definitely. I never get that right. Get me in trouble. All right. So we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Yes.
All right. I didn't think you would say yes there. What about screen time? The phone and or the computer? More than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
I would say probably more than 8 hours.
Alright, Trey, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Trey Higdon, what would you say that is?
I guess for me, represent. Oh man, I can't even tell you off the top of my head. I know.
Say pass.
Let's pass on this one.
No problem. Trey, it's been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I just want to say thanks for having me, especially. Again, everyone, if you haven't checked it out already, check out Indy 11. Doing great things throughout the city of Indianapolis, and I hope to see everyone at a future game.
Love it. Trey Higdon, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much.
Boom.